Well, I work for a company called Flashpoint Electric. We're an electric and instrumentation company. We build big projects in the oil and gas industry, instrumentation, controls, that sort of stuff. We're in Calgary here today. We're at a meeting with Husky. It's going pretty good. We're trying to generate some work here, and everyone knows oil and gas industry isn't what it used to be. So every little bit kind of helps, and we're already doing some work with Husky, and we're just trying to get a little bit more with them. When you go into sales, you want to take something with you when you leave. Not necessarily, I don't really see it kind of like a fight sometimes, but you definitely have a goal, and you want to accomplish that goal at the end of the meeting. By trade, I'm not a salesman, a journeyman electrician by trade. I got project management courses, PMP, stuff like that. But for the most part, going into a sales meeting, you just want to make a goal and try to get something out of it. I do live in Bonnyville now. I've been there about a year. I do have some really great people to train with in Bonnyville, and just balancing it with work, it's actually a lot easier in the smaller community than it was when I was living in Calgary training. The smaller community's nicer because I can get up early. I'm only 5-10 minute drive to anywhere I need to go train. I got a good core group of people around me that are there to help me, and during my fight camp, and then when they have fight camps, I go, and same thing. I'm there as much as I can for them, just as much as they're there for me. Whereas when I used to work train in the city, I was half-hour, 45-minute drive to and from the gym. So if you're going for an hour workout, I'll add on another hour and a half for travel time, and that's 2.5, 3 hours of your day just to get one workout in. And when you're training 2-3 times a day, that's a lot of time, and it's tough to have a professional career on top of that, right? So when I do come into the cities, and in Calgary especially, I really like coming here. I like the meeting. I like the atmosphere downtown. It gets me kind of pumped up for business and accelerating my career as a an oil and gas professional. And I also get excited to go back and train with the old team, right? The guys at Mike Miles there, Scott McKenzie, Mike Miles, Scott Clark, Hakeem, Devoto. Any chance I get to get in front of them when I'm down here, it's always fun to see how they're improving, see how I'm improving as well. It's a good time. Balancing it's tough, right? Especially if you want to have a life outside of working and training and everything. If I'm putting in 4 or 5 hours at the gym plus 8 to 10 hours at work, there's not a whole lot for anything else. So balancing it is a juggling act. It's tough, but you get used to it, right? It becomes your life, and long-term goals like make the UFC and fight. Like, who knows how far that'll take you? Are you gonna be a millionaire? Like, not fighters don't make a bunch of money. It's I fight for the love of the sport, not because I want to make a bunch of money at it. So I got to put my full-time job first, put my career first, and be the best person I can be in the industry I'm working in. You're going to a ring against someone who's 20 feet across the ring from you, looking at you, staring you down, wanting to take your head off, right? It's a total play on your mind, and every minute up until the point when you walk into the cage, my first fight, I was got my hand dropped and everything. I was looking at the guys I was training with and everything, and they left me, and I was by myself, and I was thinking to myself, I could run away right now. There's no one would even know, right? I could just get out of here. I don't want to do this. And a lot of people, especially in the sales world, they don't have that sort of mentality, to stick with it. When you set up sales meeting, cold calls, rejection is something that people can't deal with properly. And realistically, in the sales world, you're going to hear 10 times more no's than you will a yes. And the way you cope with that makes you a better professional, or better at what you do, I guess you could say, than the other guy, right? And I think definitely fighting does play a huge role with helping me cope with situations like that. Going to a sales meeting, do I go in there and meet this guy, or do I just say I did and drive by? Who knows, right? A lot of sales guys, may do that, and maybe they find out later on life sales isn't for them, and like I said, I'm not even a sales guy, but I think I got the right tools in place to be successful at generating work. I think I started getting into fighting in high school, and even before high school, I started wrestling Saskatoon with the hounds or the pups. And my brother did judo and I did wrestling, and we were always kind of back and forth with each other which sport was better. And I gave up hockey at a younger age just to pursue football and wrestling. And high school came along. I went to national championships, provincial championships, stuff like that. University, same thing. And then outside of university, I started doing electrical work and starting to get into being an electrician. I worked a lot on the road in the oil and gas industry, and you're up in Fort Mac. I was up in Dawson Creek, Fort St. John, places like that, and I started getting into Muay Thai. And I started training actually. The first time I ever walked into a Muay Thai gym was in Dawson Creek with Wade Irwin at White Tiger Muay Thai, and I just fell in love with it. Like the atmosphere, the training, what goes along with it's just very similar. The similarity was there to what I was used to in training. Like anyone could go into a gym and lift weights, and I just found that boring. I wanted to do something physical, keep me moving, something where when I go home after a workout, I was just bagged and sleep good and up the next day, ready for work. And that's just how I kind of started getting into it. And then one day, someone asked me if I wanted to take a fight, and I said, yeah, sure. I jumped in the ring and beat up some guy, and then did it again. And there's nothing, until you can get into that ring and feel the type of adrenaline and just the rush, there's nothing like it. And you do it once, you're almost addicted instantly. It's a lot of fun, and then you learn the different aspects of the sport. You train like wrestling and jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai and boxing, and there's so many different things you're always learning. It's never boring. It's always something new to learn, and I think that's kind of what drew me into fighting. Is just there's so much out there to know. I want to know as much as I can. Yeah, me and Al, we just finished a pretty successful meeting there, and we're gonna go grab a coffee, maybe grab some lunch here, and meet with another client that we do a lot of work for, actually. Fighting Anton was a tough battle, and especially 2 weeks out of the fight, you got an opponent change, and when you're mentally prepared to fight someone, and then you get someone like Anton who's he's tall, he's long, he's an experienced fighter, and he was ranked above me in the standings at that time, and accomplishing that victory was it opened up my mind to the potential I actually have in this sport. I think I'm very proud to be a unified light heavyweight champion right now, and it's I don't know, it seems almost surreal. Like it doesn't seem like anything's really changed. It's just I got a huge accomplishment beneath me, and moving forward, I know the next guy that I'm gonna have to fight is gonna be that much better, and I'm looking forward to just keep on proving to myself and proving to everyone that I am one of the best in Canada and moving my spot up in the world rank. Yeah, my mindset going in was I trained hard. It didn't matter who was going to be in front of me at that point in time. Even Anton being ranked above me in the standings and everything. I tried not to get my nerves or anything too ramped up. I just wanted to stay calm, collective, and just go in and do what I do. Like on a daily basis, I've been sparring with guys like Victor Valimaki and Tim Campbell, and guys like Victor. He's an old UFC vet, and I figure if I can kind of hold my own against him, sparring with him, and there wasn't, like, Anton wasn't going to beat me. So going into that fight, it was a little bit of a little bit of a change with my mindset, but in the same sense, I was ready. I was ready to go 5 rounds. My cardio was there, my striking was there, and I just dominated for 5 rounds. It felt good. I think a lot of people before that fight may have underestimated what my skill set was, and Anton too. I'm sure, you know, taking a fight on 2 weeks' notice, he came into that fight wanting to win the fight and thinking that he was going to be him walking away with the belt, like. And all I had to do was go in there and do that, and you know, all the adversity and everything going through 5 rounds, and you know, when you're in the ring, it's tough to think about. You know, did I win that round? Did I win the next round? I gotta win this round. You know, there's so much that goes through your mind, especially in a 5-round fight, and it's definitely a great feeling to know that I've gone the distance and I won every single round. It's a huge accomplishment, and you know, going back now and reading play-by-plays and watching the fight again, and you know, seeing yourself do that type of thing, it kind of sits in and it's more real. Like, it's actually you on the TV doing that, you know, striking and looking like a professional fighter. It's unreal. It's like another body experience almost sometimes, and it's definitely rewarding. I got a belt. I got something I'm gonna keep my entire life, and you know, and it's a great feeling.
Okay, guys, you both know the rules. I want a good, clean fight at all times. Obey my commands at all times. Touch gloves. Go back to your corner.
There you have it. The co-main event, light heavyweight title on the line. Nick Squatch Campbell versus Anton Tokarczuk. Even the ring girls were dumbfounded by the masterpiece that's about to happen here. As Dean Panis joins me back at the announcing booth, we're about to see one hell of a fight.
Our first of 3 championship bouts here at Unified MMA. The light heavyweight championship between Tokarczuk in the black and red trunks against Nick Campbell in the black with green trim. Now it's Campbell that locks up the leg of Tokarczuk. Tokarczuk goes to the ground looking to lock up the body with his legs, but Campbell doing a good job of scrambling here, posturing up. Campbell in side control now.
Very good job by Campbell, paying attention to not running right into Tokarczuk's guard and also passing the guard before he decides to settle down in side control.
Right hand there by Campbell landed. It just grazed him. Didn't do a lot, but when you see a fighter wave on. Now Tokarczuk grabs his nose. That shot might have done some damage. Campbell starting to open up, a double jab followed by a right hand. Now a jab to the body. Halfway through round number 3, halfway through this fight, and Nick Campbell starting to show a little swagger.
Campbell very composed, holding a lot of restraint here, not trying to turn this into a brawl. He's picking and choosing his shots.
And Tokarczuk's nose is starting to leak bad. That shot definitely busted his nose. Yeah, very, very impressive here. Very impressive by both fighters. Once again, for Anton Tokarczuk to take this fight on 2 weeks' notice, to get his nose busted in the 3rd round and still go the distance of a 5-round championship fight is incredible, incredible endurance, incredible heart by both these fighters. And a body kick thrown by Campbell. Tokarczuk's able to catch it and Campbell spins away. 15 seconds left here in our 5th and final round. Tokarczuk looks up at the clock. He's gonna have to throw a bomb here. He's gonna have to go for a knockout. He's got 7 seconds to do it. Nick Campbell's 5 seconds away from becoming the champion. Nick Campbell's gonna go the distance here against Anton Tokarczuk. Very, very good fight by both these guys. Once again, I tip my hat to both these gentlemen for going 5 grueling rounds. As you see a good close-up there of Anton Tokarczuk, but that says it all. Anton leaned down against the cage, frustrated. Nick Campbell smiling, arms up, hands in the air. He's certain he won the belt.
After 5 rounds of championship MMA action, we go to our judges for decision. Judge Sean Gerke, Robert Donahue, and Thomas Collins all score this bout 50-45 for your winner by unanimous decision, and the new unified light heavyweight champion, Nick Squatch Campbell.
So Nick as a fighter, first and foremost, he's just a really strong guy, really big guy. He can hit pretty hard for his weight, which is saying a lot because all those guys hit hard. He's got a really hard right knee. I think some of his opponents have felt that in the past. I'd say another quality he brings to the table is he's just super personable and also coachable. Like he's the kind of guy who can take things from everywhere and learn something from everyone. Yeah, even though he just had a fight, I think it says a lot about a guy when he gets back in the gym right away and he stays in shape. He doesn't go on a bender and let his body get too soft. He's right back in the gym, he's learning. I think that's the best time to learn is maybe when you don't have a fight lined up. You're just, you have an open mindset. You can come in the gym and just be a little playful. So today we worked just some new techniques, just trying to build on his existing arsenal so that he can show some new looks in the cage next time. The willingness to always be improving upon yourself and never like rest on your laurels. Like you don't win a title fight and go, there, I did it, now I'm good enough. Now I can just coast until my next title defense. He's immediately back in the workshop, adding new tricks and just constantly improving. I think that says a lot about a guy. Anytime you win a title, it's kind of a validation of where you are in the sport. It's definitely a feather in your cap, and you can just build from there. And you go into the next fight knowing that you are on that level and that you can achieve those things, and it's only up from there.
A lot of people have something like they go to for an outlet from their everyday job and everything, and mine just happens to be coming to the gym. And you know, it's a place where I can go and I don't have to worry about the stresses of my job or my work, my home life or anything like that. I just go to the gym and it's just me, and you know, and I enjoy the aspect of it. I look forward to it every single day. During fight camps and stuff, it's more of a grind and stuff to get up in the morning and really, you know, put in the work you need in order to win. But in the same sense, it's bettering me. It's my place where I can just kind of go and zone out from the rest of the world. Continual improvement, like that's the basis of the game, really. Like the better you can make yourself, the better. No one's 100% knows everything, right? Like as soon as you think you know that, you're that type of person, then you're in the wrong sport. Like every single day I come into the gym and I learn something new every single day, and I look forward to that every single day. It's something that I like to expand my knowledge, my fight knowledge, and I like to, see how far I can really take it. Well, every day I surprise myself with what I can do, right? Like, it's amazing. The biggest thing I find that I never really thought I could ever do is just keep up and go 5 rounds and ready to go more. Like that conditioning and type of, like the level of that you need to be to go into battle and pull out 5 rounds is phenomenal. And you know, I never thought I'd ever be in that sort of shape to do it. And then when you do, you surprise yourself, and it's cool. I think on a professional level, like what I do on a day-to-day basis, that pays the bills and it's my career. You know, it's definitely helped me there. I've made some really good friends in the industry because of the fighting, because of what I do. And you know, it's amazing when you sit down and talk to someone who's like, oh yeah, I used to box, or I used to wrestle, I used to kickbox, and like everyone's got something you can relate to on a different level, and I think that's pretty cool when you start talking and then and it's a new client, and all of a sudden that client becomes a friend, and the next thing you know, like you're hanging out and talking fights, watching fights, and that's one thing I'm definitely thankful for and always remember. And moving forward, like absolutely, I want to I already have a guy that's fighting underneath me, and he's taking his first fight in November, and I can't wait to watch it and be in his corner and watch our hard work that we put in together pay off. I want to take all the knowledge and experience I've taken from this gym and pass it on to people that didn't have the luxury of being involved in this gym or in Calgary, and pass on that knowledge and help people succeed in fighting.